Good evening, and welcome to Field Law tonight. My name is Patrick Keogh, and tonight we present Frank Molnar, 25 years a role model. Like many of us, Frank was born a child. Uniquely, however, he was born on September 27th, the same day as Cosimo de' Medici, Samuel Adams, Gwyneth Paltrow, Avril Lavigne, and Lil Wayne. Frank was known to everyone in St. Francis, Alberta, a small village with a population of 30, including the Molnars. It had everything a boy could want: a lumberyard, grocery store, a beautiful Catholic church. Frank was a helpful boy, always ready to lend a hand at his family's beekeeping business. He would help, and he would show others how to help. Teacher and student, captain and teammate, Frank loved his little village and everything about it. But while the good people of St. Francis loved Frank very much, they knew there was something unique about him, that he was destined for something great. They knew, as did he, that the village could not hold him. Young Frank packed up, leaving only a part of his heart behind, and moved to the big city of Warburg, Alberta. Now Warburg was no Torrington, no Carbon. Warburg had produced not one, but two NHL coaches. And Warburg was not St. Francis either. Its bright lights offered temptations the village had never seen. There was sin, there was vice, there was allured enticement not found in the village. Fortunately, our Frank remained strong and focused on his learnings. He learned how to steer clear of evil and learned what he could do to protect those he loved. But soon, even the metropolis of Warburg proved too small for our Frank. Restless and lost, he came to a crossroads. Too village for the city, too city for the village. And so, like so many before him who had hit rock bottom, desperate and with nowhere else to go, Frank went to law school. Like most things he did, Frank did well in law. He secured the acquittal of a poor sharecropper who had only wanted to bust up a shiffer. Yes, he found wealth, unspeakable wealth, yet deep down these possessions left him empty. He could not find the peace, the harmony he had been seeking. For Frank was in fact two men, part rugged individualist, but also part of the collective. While he cherished the virtue of competition and the value of hard work to bring out the best in him, Frank also stayed true to the teachings of the village, where many hands made for light work. Yes, the strength of working together toward a common goal was deep inside of him, in fact, literally. And thus Frank made a choice to devote himself to the freedom of labor and the promise of employment. At last, in harmony with himself, Frank returned to the academy to become a master of industrial relations. Upon completion of his training, Frank returned west and a little bit south to find a new home at Field. At Field, Frank threw himself into his work, his love of labor and employment, eventually becoming the leader of the group he headed for many years. As in when Frank became practice group leader, this was his president. Even if deep down, Frank always wished that this was his president. And though he worked hard, oh how hard he worked, Frank found time for love, Frank found time for family, and Frank found time for his community. Frank taught the lawyers of his group, as the village had taught him, to help others. He taught young labor and employment lawyers to counsel clients on when to be hard and when to be soft. He was kind to the group when they needed it and gave tough love when they needed that more. His advice was sought after by his colleagues and he was feared by his opponents. He was given honors in his profession for things apparent and for things perhaps more latent. Frank appeared as counsel before all Alberta and federal courts and represented clients in numerous labor arbitrations before the Alberta Labour Relations Board, the Canada Industrial Relations Board, Human Rights Tribunal, and Canada Labour Code adjudicators. And so, we salute you, Frank Molnar, a role model to St. Francis, to Warburg, to Field, and indeed to the world. May your next 25 years of Field be as rewarding as the first. I've been your host, Patrick Keogh.